Fusion 360 defining a section analysis. So this will be the case study, the Mecanum wheel. We're going to find the tool over here within Inspect Section Analysis. We can also find it within the rapid shortcut. If I'm going to press S and I will type in section, we're going to find the section analysis. Now for the selection, we need to define and select a plane. We can either go with the default planes over here, and we're going to see that this will be the section. I also need to flip the direction in this case. And afterwards, I have the possibility to change the distance offset from that selection plane. We can also change the angles. So this will be one of the angles. This will be angle 1. We can find it over here within the viewport. This will actually be angle 2. And we're also going to have angle 1 over here. You can also input numeric values over here directly, or you can have those go back to 0. As you can see, I added 0 over here. I pressed tab, but this didn't update. So now if I will drag this along, this will remain like this. If I will cancel this and I will reapply the section cut onto the same plane, you're gonna see that now this offset distance will be aligned over here. So keep that in mind that in some cases, if you're gonna change the value of the angles, even if you're gonna go back to 0, it will not actually go back to that default state. So in this case, again, 0, we see that in this case it went over here. You can also reselect the plane. So let's say in this case I will click over here on this vertex, and we're going to see how this cutting plane will go directly over there. We see over here that it also went into that component. So if I will cancel this and I will enable the section analysis onto this part, and now I will move it along this normal, it will go onto all of the components at the same time. So keep that in mind if you're going to play along with the angled values over here. Usually it's a good idea to just reselect the section plane. You can also do that directly over here. You can remove the cutting plane, you can reselect it, and it will be aligned. Now, some other changes, we can change over here the section color. So this is from component, and this is well defined. If you have a complex assembly, each of those individual parts will have a different color. You can also go for custom, and over here you can define a specific color that you can set. And as you can see, within that sub-assemblies, all of those components will have that color. We can also show the hatch over here or not. So this is without the hatch. Usually it's a good idea to keep the hatch on. And also it's good to leave this as from component. Now, some other elements, we can also select planes directly onto the surface of the model. For example, if I will click over here, the section cutting plane will start directly from that plane. Keep in mind that you need to select a surface where we're going to have a plane defined. So in this case, if I will go on to this roller, this will actually give me a normal tool for that, as we can see it over here. And it will go with a plane like this, aligned to that location. We can also use construction planes, so we can define our own planes over here. And afterwards, we can use that as a selection. We can also directly have it selected within the product tree, enable the section tool, and that will automatically appear over here. So in this case, as you can see, I defined that section plane all the way to the back, so it doesn't actually intersect the model. But we can go with an offset starting from that selection. So overall, these are the settings for the section analysis. It would be nice if we would have the possibility to have some of the components being ignored within this section cut, because currently this will do the section cut to the whole product over here. So there are some workarounds with hide and show in order to maintain some of those not, let's say, section cut. But other CAD solutions will also have that feature and also will enable more advanced cutting planes, so we can add 1 or 2. So For example, Solidus Composer or Katia Composer will have that functionality. It's not needed, but it's a nice thing to have, mainly when you want to create some interesting sectionalizing cutouts. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this kind of content. I will position a similar video over here on the left side, and I will also add the subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.